Hey, welcome back to Jaws on Sports. Here we are. It's a nice Saturday outside, not too awful hot right now. Um, I didn't just come back from Roosters, but I am repping Joe's Kansas City barbecue right here, the best cuisine in the entire world. Next time you're passing through Kansas City, go get it. Zach and I did back in April when we were going for the UFC fight night. Best place in the world to get a bite. How's it going today, man?
Doing all right.
That should be your catchphrase right there. T-shirts, bumper stickers,
Oh,
Netflix limited series, doing all right. I like it. All right. So we're following up our award-winning Formula One show the other day.
yeah, I don't think people were that interested in. I was kind of worried they wouldn't be, but
Hey, look, we were interested in it. We did it. So
that's what
uh,
matters.
we're building community here. That's what we do. So this is what we've been waiting for since we first started talking about this back in whenever the heck it was, hundreds of years ago. The college football season is about upon us, so we're excited. Are you excited? You're excited, aren't you?
Yeah, man, best time of the year.
Yeah, best time of the year. Dog days of summer. We're still in the middle of them, but we got college football coming up here in about 3 weeks. So, what we're going to do today, we're not going to talk about any of the conference realignment stuff that's going on next year, the year after that. And we're not going to be conference specific, but we're going to just talk about college football, why we love it, and who we think is going to do great this year. Okay, so Zach, why don't you fire ahead?
Uh, yeah, man. I mean, I love NFL. I got NFL Jam shirt on here.
Oh, who'd you
Uh,
have? You had Diggs and who?
Micah Parsons.
Nice
Yeah.
studs. All right,
Uh,
go Cowboys.
big fan of go Cowboys. Big fan of the NFL. But college has that thing to it that just makes it better. Um, I think it's the environment mostly, and I just think it's more fun because there's actual rivalries and you know, uh, every year it's new guys and new teams playing each other. So I like that a lot. But um, who cares? Texas sucks. Texas, Texas is back this year. They're back to 7-5 instead of 6-6. So um, the Horns will have a solid year. For them, solid year, 7-5.
7-5 be
Uh,
good for the Horns. I like it.
yeah, I just wanted to get that out of the way. I got them up on the wall too, saying they suck. Um, don't like them, but we're only what day is it? The fifth.
Yeah, I
So
think it's a fifth. Yeah,
3 weeks from right now, we'll be watching college football games.
that's right,
So
man. Yes.
I'm
Woo.
excited. Um, it's gonna be a blast. Week one's kind of this year. Florida and Utah play again. They had that classic game last year in the
Mm,
swamp.
yeah.
um, there's one game I was interested in besides OU. I'll be playing Arkansas State. Arkansas State's in trouble. Just putting it out there. Our Air Force Falcons are playing Robert Morris.
Big
Interesting.
game there. Yeah.
Big Big Ten starts conference play week one. The
Yeah,
worst
Big
league.
Big Ten tends to do stuff like that. I can never understand why, but they've been doing that for 1,000 years, and they'll
I
probably
don't
be
know.
doing it 1,000 more when they've got 18 teams in their conference coming up.
Yeah, I don't like that. I think you need to play your non-conference. Oh, here you go. Uh, North Carolina, South Carolina. That's college game day. But I'm more excited for West Virginia, Penn State at night for week one.
Yeah,
I think that's gonna be a fun game.
is that game at Morgantown or in Happy Valley?
It's in Penn State.
Okay, okay, all
Yeah.
right.
Well, Penn State's favored by 20, but that's a little out there. I think West Virginia is gonna put up a good game. I'm
No,
that's the that, that's what I'm most excited for week one is that game.
Well, even with the week one, week five, week 10, whatever. It's just I'm just excited that the season's about upon us.
Yeah.
And like Zach was saying, college football just has a different vibe than the NFL. I love the NFL. 15 feet away from me, I got probably 30 different pieces of Dallas Cowboy paraphernalia and exactly two Denver Broncos that I tried to sell for $1,000 about a decade ago and nobody bought them. But maybe I'll try to sell them again. Um, but love the NFL. But college is just there's more passion in it. There's more emotions. The fans are crazier. Um, it's just you have these rivalries that never die, and the NFL has got some. Okay, I mean the Ravens and Steelers has probably been the biggest rivalry in the NFL in the last 20 years, but that's one. All right, is anybody real excited about the Miami Dolphins and Jacksonville playing each other just because they're in the same state? No, but in college football, you got them all over the place, and
Yeah, and
it's crazy.
I I'm just excited to sit down and watch, like freaking South Carolina and Arkansas play. I'm just excited to watch ball. That's a fun thing because in the NFL on Sundays, you don't always want to sit down and watch the Titans and the Lions, you know. But in college, it's more it's more exciting because there's so many different teams and they all play differently
Mhm.
stylistically.
Yeah,
So, um, I just think it's more exciting and the games. The atmosphere is better, but they're more important. NFL, you could lose 9 games and make the playoffs.
it's
Um,
happened. Yeah,
yeah. In college, you lose 1 game, you're in trouble.
yeah,
So,
yeah.
uh, the
All
stakes are higher.
college teams. Your lowliest college team has some kind of a crazy tradition that means a ton to their fans,
Hmm.
and you've got rivalry games throughout the season. Um, just incredible atmospheres. You got NFL stadiums are all in at minimum large cities. All right, some of them aren't as big as others. Say Buffalo, Cincinnati. There's those aren't 2 million population cities, but college football. You've got places like go figure, Norman, Oklahoma. All right, Athens, Ohio, where the Bobcats are.
We don't care about them.
Nobody
Who
cares
cares?
about them. We got Happy Valley, Pennsylvania, where the Penn State Nittany Lions play. One of the craziest settings that you'll ever see in your life when they do the whiteout there. Blacksburg, where Virginia Tech plays. Um, it's just there's all these places. Shoot, let's go up to Fargo, North Dakota. Population 120,000 out in the middle of freaking nowhere, and they got this great Division II team in this 20,000 seat indoor stadium that's got a whole bunch of trophies there. Just insane action and tradition. Everybody's going nuts. Um, I hadn't even touched on anything down south in the SEC yet, so it's
Well,
just to me it's more exciting, and I am likely to tune into a Wednesday night college football team with North Carolina playing, I don't know, Vanderbilt. If there's
yeah.
a Thursday night NFL game that's got the Cleveland Browns versus the New Orleans Saints, I might be brushing my teeth or combing my hair or doing laundry, folding clothes. I'm probably not watching that game.
Yeah. Uh, Honestly, it's just better. I enjoy it, but, with all that talk, that's something for another day.
Yeah.
I wanna talk about the season.
All right, let's
Um,
do it.
I I think it's gonna be it's always exciting. Um, I'm gonna come out and say it right now. I think it's Alabama's year. Alabama's gonna get one back.
Get one
Uh,
back.
yeah, everyone's doubting Alabama, which is crazy,
Yeah.
but they're due for a national title and they're gonna win it this year.
Yeah, it's been
Um,
what, 3 years?
yeah,
Yeah.
so they're gonna win the whole thing. They have the unsuspecting quarterback this year. That's why I say that, because they tend to win when they have that unsuspecting guy that still throws for 3,500 yards. But um, yeah, I think Alabama wins the whole thing. I'm just gonna say that right now. SEC ball won't be as exciting this year, though. I think. I think Tennessee's gonna take a step back. Um, Georgia will still be Georgia, but I feel like Georgia, this might be the year they slip up and lose one they shouldn't to like a team. I don't know, like a not a Kentucky. Kentucky won't touch them, but maybe a South Carolina kind of team might catch
This
them.
is fair.
Um, yeah, I don't know about Georgia going 3 in a row. I don't think I could see that.
Uh, how long has it been since I don't know for sure. I didn't think about this. I don't know how long it's been since a team won 3 in a row. That shoot, that might
Has
have
it
never.
ever happened?
I don't know. I mean, the great Oklahoma teams won a couple in a row twice.
I don't think
Alabama,
anyone's.
they've got 2 in a row. They haven't got three.
Yeah, I don't
Uh,
think anyone's ever won 3 in a row. I don't.
Heyday USC never got three. Nebraska should have got four in the '90s, but they didn't get it that third season, so that doesn't count. We could probably go way, way, way back in the days to the Newt Rockne, Notre Dame teams, or maybe early Bear Bryant, Alabama. It's possible somebody got 3 in a row, but I can't think of any off the top of my head. If
I
any
don't think
our
so.
listeners out there are on the Google or know that, put that in the live feed and we'll address it. But you mentioned Alabama, and it's interesting that Zach and
Yeah.
we're actually Alabama fans, which,
No, we're not.
well, if they're not playing the Sooners, we are. We like, okay,
Oh, I get what you mean. I was
we
yeah.
maybe fans is the wrong word. We enjoy watching them. Does that sound better?
Yeah, I'd
Okay.
say so.
I do not have any Alabama paraphernalia. I don't have a Nick Saban hat. I'm not going to buy any of that crap. And but they're fun to watch, and they've been ridiculously successful all these years. You can never ever count them out. Kind of like Brock Lesnar at SummerSlam tonight. You can
Yeah, cut
never
that out.
you can never
No.
cut it out. I have to do a WWE pitch.
No, you don't.
Well, I
Nope.
did.
Not talking about that.
Hey,
We're
this is my
talking about
show
football.
too. I know, but
Yeah,
okay. Anyway, we're moving on.
yeah, you're the worst half. I'm 51%, you're 49, and your head's shiny. Alabama's fun to watch. I enjoy watching them. They're winning the national championship. We could end the episode right now if we wanted to, but I want to keep talking. No
Okay, now,
WWE crap though,
all
Baldy.
right.
Keep
No
talking
more,
ball.
no more WWE crap. No more Roosters tonight. No more Joe's Kansas City barbecue. All right.
Yep, we're done.
So yeah, all right. So you got Alabama. I can't bet against Alabama, but, and this is a big but. This smells like a LSU big giant freaking year. Okay, that's one. All right, there's more. Tennessee beat Alabama last year. That game could have gone either way. Tennessee's breaking in a new superstar quarterback. They can score a lot of points. That game will be in Tuscaloosa. I cannot bet against Alabama there. Can't do it. Any of the other teams that Bama plays in conference, which does not include Georgia, all right, I I can't see that slipping up there, but it wouldn't surprise me at all if they did slip up against LSU or even Tennessee, even though I said it wasn't going to happen.
Auburn.
Eh,
It's an Auburn year.
yeah, I don't know, man. But the Auburn game's always crazy. It's like Oklahoma, Texas. Doesn't matter what the records are; it's always crazy. But Georgia has a very light conference schedule this year. So if you're Alabama, and this is my case against them, okay? And this is, I like your choice, but it would be surprising if Georgia tripped up, in my opinion. Anything can happen, would be surprising. They're breaking in new quarterback too. They had a freaking 25-year starter in Stetson Bennett back there that provided them continuity for a long time. Georgia has a much easier route to the SEC title game than Alabama does. Alabama's probably going to have to beat Georgia twice to win the national championship. That's a hell of a thing to have to do.
Yeah, I mean Georgia's schedule sucks. It's terrible.
Yes, they suck.
No, it's
Schedule.
really bad. Like
It's embarrassing.
Like group of 5 conference schedule level bad.
Mhm.
It's pretty bad.
Yeah.
Besides Tennessee, they play Tennessee, but they'll beat Tennessee. Very poor schedule. Non-conference is non-existent for them. It's just terrible, whack teams that are body bag games.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
I hate that for college football, but I understand the scheduling. But I'm picking Bama, man. I'm not gonna move or budge on that.
Okay.
Nick Saban is gonna have his guys ready. No one's talking about Alabama this offseason. They're talking about Texas, which they do every year. Texas. Hey, I'll see you. Hey, I'll see you this time next year, man. The same thing will be happening after Texas wins 6, 7 games. Be like, oh, Texas to the playoff. Oh, shut up. Stupid. This has been happening for 10 years now. We know the drill. But it's been USC. USC's no, that's not going to happen. USC struggling with Oregon State and Cal. They're not going to beat Alabama and Ohio State. They're not. Shut that down. That's not happening. Now, the team I do like out of the pack, whatever you call it now, is I like
Utah.
Washington.
Oh, Utah. Michael Penix Jr. Yeah.
Yeah, Washington looks nice this year. I think they're gonna do some damage.
If you've never been up in the Pacific Northwest, let me tell you, they got one hell of a nice setting there for the Washington Huskies Stadium.
Yeah,
you can drive your yacht right up to the stadium there. It's absolutely beautiful out there. But they got one heck of a team this year. Now, I mentioned Tennessee. We mentioned Auburn. Mentioned LSU. Gosh, man, this is the last year of the 14 playoff, and it wouldn't surprise me at all if we had Georgia and Alabama in that playoff. Now, I'm going to hold on to that for a bit, but just from anybody from the West Coast, there's some solid teams out there. Oregon looks to have a good year. Utah could have a good year. Washington could have a good year. There's no excuse for USC not to have a good year. But until those guys can play defense, which ain't going to happen this year, there's no way in hell they're going to make the conference. I mean, they're not going to win the Pac 9 or 10 or whatever it is, and they're not going to make the playoff. So I'm going to hold on to the Big 12 for now. I think Clemson and Florida State are good teams, top 10 teams, not national championship teams.
Dude, this year's Florida State team is last year's NC State. Everyone is hyping up NC State as like the sleeper for the playoff. Florida State's going to win 8 or 9 games like they normally do.
Yeah.
And they'll win the Belk Bowl or something against South Carolina.
That's
what they're going to do.
And it'll be a fun game. We'll be watching it.
Yeah, but they're not a playoff team.
No.
And Jordan Travis isn't a Heisman guy. They're that one team, minus Texas or whatever, that's getting hyped up way too much.
Mm-hmm.
I don't trust them at all. I don't like Clemson this year. I like them next year. Next year they'll be good. But Clemson's not a playoff team this year.
I don't think they're a playoff team. I mean, I have mad respect for Dabo Swinney and what he's done there. but they haven't got the dudes that they were getting 4 or 5 years ago. And at the very highest level, that makes a difference. And they always get beat in conference by somebody. And for better or worse, the rest of the ACC has kind of caught up with them, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. I think they'll still win the ACC. ACC sucks, but
No, I mean
uh,
they're going to drop a game or two in the ACC. That's what I think.
well, a game they will. They'll drop a game. I don't think they're gonna lose two though.
I don't think
But
they're a playoff team though.
no, um, I uh, I don't like Clemson this year. Um, down south, I do like LSU. I liked how you brought that up because they have a good storm this year. The one problem with that storm is there's sunshine in Tuscaloosa because they play Alabama. they play they play Alabama on the road, so that's gonna be tough. Go into
Yeah,
Tuscaloosa and win. So that's my only knock with LSU.
yeah,
Um,
yeah. This I don't think this is the Joe Burrow, Jamar Chase, Justin Jefferson, Patrick Queen LSU team, but I think they're going to be really good this year. And even if they did beat Alabama, I think that they're going to get tripped up a couple places along the way. So I don't think they're a playoff team. Yeah, right now, I've got two. I've got Georgia and Bama, and until something happens to prove us both wrong, otherwise, I just don't see how that's going to escape. Now, there's a couple teams I want to talk about here real quick in the Big Ten, and actually, there's three. One of them's Michigan, one of them's Penn State, the other one's the local team. Who the hell are they? I can't think of them. I can't stand them. Uh, it's like they have an ice cream named after them and like a nut. Buckeyes, yeah, Ohio State, those guys. Um, you can never count out Ohio State. And in recent years, Michigan has had their number. You could argue that those two teams are on level playing field. And what's how's it going to finish up? I believe that game is in Ann Arbor this year. I don't know how much it matters. I would not expect both of those teams to make the playoff like they did last year. I think that this is one of those seasons that Ohio State, they're breaking in new quarterbacks as well. They got one hell of a lot of talent. They do have the best wide receiver in college football, Marvin Harrison Jr. That dude's a freaking stud.
that's
And
one of the best college football players I think I've seen since like Tavon Austin days. That
yeah,
guy's
could be. Marvin Harrison Jr. is a real deal, and he's going to be way high up on those draft boards next year. It'd be nice seeing him opposite CeeDee Lamb. Anyway, um, Ohio State has a very interesting game early on the road against a team that is perennially overrated, Notre Dame.
I've been wanting to talk about this one since we started because Notre Dame is notorious for sucking in big games. Really bad. And if they had an ounce of decency in a lot of the big games, they'd win, but they just fall apart in the big games. But I have a weird feeling that they're going to catch the Buckeyes sleeping week 4. I really do.
I
And I
tell
think
you, man, that's a night game, 7:30 national TV audience. It's going to be one of the most watched college football games of the regular season by far. Um, Notre Dame almost got Ohio State here in Columbus last year. Anything can happen. I would love to see Notre Dame win this game. I'm not. I'm going to hold off a prediction on that until we get closer and we get a couple more shows in. Um, Especially to see what Ohio State brings at their quarterback. But that could be an awesome trap game to see the Buckeyes go down. Now, saying that, there's a problem with it. If Notre Dame happens to win that game, what are we going to be talking about the rest of the season? What are the ESPN Bleacher Report guys going to be saying? Notre Dame to the playoff. And that spells total disaster, in my opinion.
Well, okay, my reasoning for that pick is I think Notre Dame can steal that game, and then they'll end up losing like 2 more after that.
Yeah.
They'll get overconfident, and I think with Ohio State losing that game, I could see them turning around and winning out.
Yeah.
They do have Michigan on the road, but I think Michigan's gonna be really good this year, and I think they're gonna run the ball really well. But I'm gonna be honest, I don't think Ohio State's gonna lose 3 years in a row to Michigan. So I think the Bucks are gonna drop an early game to Notre Dame, and then I think they'll run through the rest of their schedule. I really do.
Wouldn't surprise me at all. And we all know that the way that the Big Ten does their conference championship game is usually Michigan or the Buckeyes against a tomato can. And respect to Wisconsin, and I'm curious how their quarterback Tanner Mordecai, former OU transfer, and I think he was at SMU and threw for a bunch of yards. I'm just curious how he's going to do out there in the land of tight ends, offensive tackles, and not a whole lot of scoring. But the one other, I mean, Michigan's good. Michigan's really good. Michigan could blow through the Big Ten, absolutely beat Ohio State, and end back up in the playoffs. It wouldn't surprise me at all. But I would love this to be a Penn State year, man. I would love it.
It's not.
But
no.
They would have to beat both of those teams. Okay. No. And because if you see, Penn State isn't going to get the love that Ohio State, Michigan do. Ohio State, Michigan, if they have one loss early in the season, they're still going to be ranked in the top 5 or 6. Penn State loses a game, they're number 11. That's just how it is. It's not fair, but that's life. So I would love to see Penn State make a run. I do not think that they can beat both of them, though.
No, we're going to see the annual most overrated game in the year with Penn State, Ohio State. They'll probably be both ranked. They'll both be ranked 10th or inside the top 10. And everyone's going to be like, oh, wow, big game, college game day. But reality, no one cares. We all know Ohio State's going to win. And Penn State's going to underperform because that's what happens every single time they play. Who cares? Yeah. We've seen the story 1,000 times. We know how it plays out. Buckeyes dominate late in the game, win by 3 scores. We know. So Big Ten wise, I think the Buckeyes slip up early against a non-Big Ten team on the road at Notre Dame, and then they bust through the rest of the schedule, beat Michigan, make the playoff.
Wouldn't be surprising at all.
Yeah.
As much as I hate to say it, those guys here wearing the scarlet and gray are really freaking good every year, but that doesn't mean I have to like them. So I think, right now I have to decide at the end of our show. We got about 6 or 7 minutes left. Michigan or Ohio State's at my 3rd playoff spot. And it very well could be 4. I'm going to go to the Big 12 here. And, obviously neither one of us are Texas fans. You talk about no excuse. If there was ever a year that the Longhorns were set up since the days of Colt McCoy, it's this season. Okay. I mean, they have to play Oklahoma, and they always have that. But they got a chance early on to make a statement. And unfortunately, that is in Tuscaloosa versus a gnarly Alabama team who will definitely be trying to prove a point. So the thing is with that, if Texas, I wouldn't expect Texas to beat Alabama. Okay, I don't think you do either. But if Texas can keep that game within a couple touchdowns and they run the table, they're going to get that respect the rest of the year. So while I don't like Texas, if they don't slip up in the Big 12, they're going to be ranked high enough to where that one loss would be a good loss for them. Of course, I'll be cheering for Alabama and every other damn team that plays Texas. My second favorite team every year, this is cliche, is whoever is playing Texas that day, and that's not ever going to change. Now, the other teams in the Big 12, Oklahoma should have some kind of a bounce back, but I don't think either one of us think Oklahoma's a playoff team this year. That would be like a 2000 Josh Heupel second year Big Bob Stoops coaching surprise. I would love for it to happen. We'll definitely talk much more about Oklahoma before the season and during the season, but I don't think the Sooners have enough this year to do that. It's going to be interesting to follow national championship runner-up TCU this season. They it's crazy as it sounds. They're the first Big 12 team to win a playoff game. They got totally demolished by Georgia. And is that going to have any lasting effects? They're replacing a lot of guys. They got some talent down there, but I don't see this being the season that one of these, and I'm going to call them other Big 12 teams, makes a big run like that.
Well, first of all, Texas is going to go into Bama and they're going to get waxed. It's not going to be like last year's game. It's not.
Roll Tide. Yeah.
Texas, and you said run the table. Texas isn't winning 11 games, Dad. They're not.
Hey, I don't think they are either. I'm just saying, okay? I'm just saying, because of who they're playing, Alabama, if they keep that game relatively close and run the table, they have an inside track to playoff. I don't think they're going to do it because they always screw up against TCU or Kansas State or WV or somebody like that. Even Texas Tech.
Texas will lose to Bama. They'll lose to Baylor. They got OU again this year. OU's not back on that level. They'll get OU, but you got to watch out for Kansas State and BYU, teams like that.
Yeah, I think Texas is going to lose 3 games.
I think they lose
out of the playoff.
4 or 5.
Okay, so let's think about this for a second, okay?
Slow your roll, man. I'm speaking over here.
Okay, right? Tough guy.
I got more to say, you Texas truther.
Okay, Cube, you got something to say. Let's do it. All
right. So I don't see them making it out of an 8-4 season. It might be worse than that, but I think their ceiling is 9-3.
9-3.
I think they go 8-4.
Okay.
Texas Tech is gonna have a better year. BYU is gonna make some stuff happen, and Kansas State's going to the championship.
Okay. I think that's reasonable right there, but I think what we're both agreeing on is we don't have anybody from the Big 12 in the playoff, right?
No
way. Absolutely not.
Going to beat each other up.
Yeah. So that takes us back, kind of circle back here. You picked Georgia, or not Georgia. You picked Alabama to win the whole thing. I just like last year, I find it hard to pick apart Georgia enough to think that they're not going to be in the playoff. Worst case scenario for them, they're in the SEC Conference Championship game. They lose to Alabama. Alabama's number 1 seed in the playoff or whatever have you. And Georgia, even a 2-loss Georgia, because of who they are, might get in there. Ohio State, Michigan winner is going to be there. I think this year that's going to be the Buckeyes. And it's like sand was in my eyes when I say that. That leaves one other team for me. And I would love to say that there's going to be some kind of craziness this year. But, man, shoot. I really think that Ohio State's going to come into the Michigan game with 1 loss. Michigan's going to be undefeated. Both those damn teams are going to make it to the playoff. I got Ohio State. I got Michigan. I got Georgia. I got Alabama. I know that's not sexy.
Not going to happen.
But I can't pick Georgia to win 3 in a row. And I can't believe I'm saying this. Tide, this is your year. Trophy number 45 or whatever.
I think It's gonna end up like this. It's gonna be. I don't think Oklahoma's gonna have a bounce back crazy year, but I think they're gonna go to the Big 12 championship game for the last one, and they're gonna play their kryptonite, K
K-State.
State.
Yeah.
And I don't know how that game goes, but if I picked a playoff right now, I'd say Alabama number 1, Ohio State is 2, and then you could throw Georgia at like, 3 or 4, whatever. Um, doesn't matter that much because win or lose, they'll probably make the playoff if they lose the SEC championship.
Yeah.
But that 4th spot is kind of up for grabs. I'm not saying Clemson. I think I'm gonna go out west though. I think it's all in the hands of a team like Washington or USC. And the only reason I wouldn't say they can make it is because they'll lose like 3 games that they shouldn't, to
Yeah.
like a Oregon State or Arizona State. But I think for my 4th team, it would have to be someone out west. So I think right now I'd take Washington.
Okay. Hey, we got to wrap it up right now. We got about 15 seconds left. So, Jaws on Sports, like and subscribe. You're going to see probably a second part of this here in a little bit. But I'm Mike. There's Zach. We're wrapping it up. We're going to be back with you shortly with more college football.